everybody, welcome into the Wolfman Gardening channel. Are you ready to grow some juicy, delicious tomatoes this season? If so, you're in the right place because today we're going to go over when and how we need to plant our tomato seeds in order to get a jump on this gardening season. Okay, first things first, let's talk about when we should plant our tomato seeds. So tomatoes are a warm season crop, meaning they need warmer weather in order for them to thrive. And they can't go outside until the last frost date has passed. With that being said, most people will start their tomato seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. So in order to figure out your last frost date, you want to go to your local garden guide or a good online source. I like to use the Farmer's Almanac. It's a great source. Once you figure that out, count back 6 to 8 weeks from that date, and that's when you want to plant your seeds indoors. Now that we know when we're going to start our tomato seeds, now let's talk about how we're going to start our tomato seeds. The first thing you want to do is make sure you get a good quality seed starting mix. Now don't get too fancy with all this. There's a lot of stuff out there about add peat moss, add this, add that, you got to get this and that. Just go to your local big box store and buy just a regular seed starting mix. That's that simple. It's don't overcomplicate it. The only thing you want to do is make sure you get seed starting mix and not like a potting mix or a potting soil or stuff like that, because the seed starting mix is made with the right stuff to where you have well drained, nice fluffy soil. I usually have zero problems with germinating. Now later on, if you want to get real fancy and make your own seed starting mix, have at it. But for starting out, let's just start with the basic plain Jane seed starting mix that you get from any big box store. Alright, we put our seed starting mix inside of a clear little tub right now because we want to add a little bit of water to this, add a little moisture to it. That way when we go to add water a little bit later, it doesn't float our seeds up. So all you're going to do is just take a little bit of that, take a little bit of water, add to it like that, and then just get in there and get your hands dirty. Ah, good. Ain't nothing like good old smell of nice seed mix, huh? And mix it up, and once we get it mixed up to where it's nice and moist, then we're going to fill our seed trays up. Now we'll take this, fill our seed trays up. Alright, once we get them like that, we want to always take something, and we're going to plant these about 1/4 inch deep. So just take something, just kind of push down a little bit, 1/4 inch, and we'll do this through all the cells. Alright, just like so. Now then, it's really important, we want to make sure we label all of these things. So if we're going to, no matter what we're planting inside of here, we're going to plant about 20 different varieties, and it's real easy to get them confused because when you're moving them in and out or you're moving them to a different shelf, they may get turned and they get turned around this way, and you thought, well, the front ones were these. So just make sure you label them. You can either buy labels like so, which get kind of expensive over time, or you can buy this $3 pack of popsicle sticks is what I call them, and you can label those and put them in each one of the cells. It's a lot cheaper. All right, now we got everything labeled. We got every one of our seed trays. If you'll look through here, we've got them all labeled with what we're going to plant in them. And I highly recommend that you label them before you actually put the seeds in, because it makes it a lot easier so you don't get confused as you're going along and forget which one you're actually planting in whichever one. Anyway, let's get started. We got these. We've got a soil pushed down about 1/4 inch because you want to plant these about 1/4 inch deep. Now we're going to plant here comes the fun part, because we are actually going to seed our seeds inside of here. And I'll get started. We'll go ahead and start with first one over here is going to be brandywine. So we'll find our brandywine, get our seed packs, and I go with a different, you don't have to go with the MI Gardener. I use Burpee on some of them as well. It just depends on where you can get the tomatoes and where they're at. And I recommend planting more than one seed per cell, or if 1 or 2 don't germinate, then you're not going to have an empty cell and lost hope. Because if you're planting just you know, a few tomato plants for yourself, you want to make sure that you get plenty of seed in there, because you can always cull them out later, or like I do, I'm going to plant multiple seeds in here, and then once they get up and they get their first true leaves, then I'm going to take these and I'll put another video out where I'll show you how we'll separate those out and put them into their own individual pots and let them grow from there. So let's get started. All right, now you can see we've got all of our seeds planted in there, and I've got them quite a few in there. Like I said, no big deal. Now we're going to gently cover the tops of these with about 1/4 inch of soil or seed starting mix, whatever you want to say. Now we're just going to soak them down. Oh, that's a little bit right there. Just going to soak it down really good. This will be the only time that we water the tops of these. From the rest of the time, we're going to take and we're going to bottom water through the bottom of this. Now then, we're going to take and we're going to move them to our heat pad, because we want to keep these about 70 to 80 degrees, because remember, these are warm temperature, or these are warm weather crops, and you want to keep them nice and moist. Now, you don't have to put them on a heat pad. I could keep them here in this nice southern window, but I want to make sure I get a higher germination rate, so I'm going to put them on a heat pad and let them stay at 70 to 80 degrees, the soil temperature. That way I get a better chance for germination. Okay, now that we've got them seeded, we got them on our warming pad. We're going to keep them at 70 to 80 degrees temperature. In about 6 to 10 days, we should have germination, and they should actually start to come up. As soon as they start all breaking the surface of the soil, then we want to make sure we get them back here and get them on a heat light, and make sure that we get them under some light. That way they have 12 to 16 hours of lighting. And I highly recommend you get something like this. We've got these little chains where we can raise them up or lower them down, because you don't want these things to be too far from light. If we keep them in a window, there's a good chance that they're going to try to reach for that light. All right, and there you have it. You are all set to have beautiful homegrown tomatoes and ready to go this gardening season. Remember, patience is the key. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more gardening tips. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And let me know in the comments too on what tomato varieties are you growing this year, or do you plan to grow this year? And like always, keep it growing.